I want all headphones, phones away, please. Computers away. I want everybody to listen to this presentation. We have invited two top-notch guest speakers and two also top-notch teachers in the school for you to be sharing their personal story. Along with that, we have Dr. Forbes, who is a department head for social studies here in the building, to be monitoring this meeting. Okay, so with that, I want to introduce Dr. Forbes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so if you feel comfortable doing this, please do it with me. If one of your grandparents was not born in the United States, raise your hand. If you have two grandparents that were not born in the United States, raise your hand. Three grandparents not born in the United States. Four? Oh, or you stopped raising your hand. Okay, so four. None of my grandparents were born in the United States. How about parents? You have one parent that was not born in the United States. Two parents? And how about yourself? Was anyone here not born in the United States and would like to share it with us? Oh, just a couple? I don't know. Yeah, they might not understand. How about when someone said
Okay, so levanta la mano si tiene un abuelo que nació afuera de los Estados Unidos. Okay, si un abuelo, dos abuelos, si tuvo más, dos abuelos que nacieron afuera de los Estados Unidos. Tres. Levanta la mano si usted nació afuera de los Estados Unidos. Okay. Yeah. That's the
Okay, so what this shows is everyone here, we have a connection to another place. Coming here, then you're immigrants, people who move from other places to another place. The United States is very special, the United States, because we are a nation of immigrants. We have people from all over the world come to make the United States. The only people who did not come to the United States was the indigenous population that was here first. Everyone else came here, majority by choice, some not by choice. People who were enslaved and brought here, it was not a choice of theirs. But the majority of the people, they come here on purpose. And they all come together and they form the United States. This is a land of immigrants. So throughout the year, there are different times where we celebrate a different group of people who make the United States. So from mid-September to mid-October is when we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, where we celebrate the accomplishments of people who have connections to Spain, South America, Central America, the Caribbean, who have come here to the United States. So today, we're going to listen to some stories of the immigrant experience of the people on stage. So they're come from families of immigrants and are here today. So the United States is a land of immigrants. So each person will introduce themselves.
Hello, hola, привет. Is that, yeah, привет, okay. My name is Mr. Sandoval. I am the bilingual social studies teacher here at Westhill. Yo soy el profesor Sandoval. Yo enseño los estudios sociales bilingües. If you don't know what bilingual social studies is, it's for students that are just coming to the country, Spanish-speaking students who are still learning English. I am a first-generation Guatemalan American, so I was born here, but my parents are from Guatemala. So, yo nací aquí, en Stanford, yo vine aquí en la Westhill, pero mis padres son de Guatemala. And yeah.
Hello, hi. My name is Ms. Fabre. I teach biology, and I was also born here, but my parents my mother's from Colombia and my father's from Dominican Republic. Mi nombre es Ms. Fabre, yo enseño biología y yo nací aquí en los Estados Unidos y mi mamá es de Colombia y mi papá es de República Dominicana.
Hi guys, my name is Arteaga. I was born in Colombia, came to the U.S. when I was 12, came to Westhill High School, went on to play college soccer, played soccer professionally, and now I coach and I own a soccer school in Stanford. Mi nombre es Arteaga, llegué a Estados Unidos a los 12 años, estudié aquí en la Westhill, estudié en la universidad y pude jugar el fútbol profesionalmente en Major League Soccer aquí en Estados Unidos y en Polonia.
Hola, ¿cómo están? ¿Están despiertos? ¿Sí? ¿No? Ok. ¿De qué país son? ¿Tenemos ecuatorianos aquí? Ecuador. Yo soy ecuatoriana. Guatemala, Honduras, Salvador, Perú, Colombia. Ok. Mi nombre es Angélica Durrell, soy violinista, nací en Ecuador, me mudé aquí cuando tenía 8 años. Y hace 11 años aquí en Stanford fundé Intempo, una organización que enseña música a jóvenes desde 5 años hasta 17 y estaba en un programa bilingüe así como todos ustedes en las escuelas de Norwell hace muchos años y contenta de estar aquí. My name is Angie Durrell. I was born in Ecuador. I came here when I was 8 years old, been here for 25 years, so you do the math. I founded Intempo 11 years ago, which is an organization that teaches kids like you, ages 5 to 17, violin, viola, cello, guitar, percussion, audio production, choir, here in Stamford, Connecticut. So delighted to be here.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Okay, so to get here, there's usually 2 factors with immigration. Push factors, push. Why do you leave where you came from? Why do you leave where you came from? And pull factors, what made you come here to the United States? What made you come to the United States? So could you tell us, either describe like what made your family leave to come here, and then why did you come here? So what pulled you to here?
So I can speak, I was born here, but on behalf of my mother, one of the reasons why she left Colombia back in around the 1980s was because of the violence in Cali. There was a lot of, drug violence, bombings and things like that happening in the city. It wasn't really safe. So my mom and her family made the choice of, coming to this country in hopes of finding safety and a better opportunity. Spanish? Entonces mi mamá salió del país, ella salió de Colombia en el tiempo de los 80s, porque en Cali, en Colombia, había mucha violencia en ese tiempo. Entonces ella y mis abuelos en ese tiempo decidieron mandarla para acá a este país porque había mucha violencia, entonces querían seguridad y también una mejor oportunidad.
La pregunta era cuáles fueron las decisiones que nos empujaron a migrar, a venir a este país, y cuáles fueron las razones que nos jalaron también a quedarnos aquí. En mi caso, mi mamá era madre soltera y crecer en Ecuador no hubiera tenido muchas oportunidades y había mucho estigma de, ¿cómo vas a criar a tu hija y qué oportunidades va a tener y dónde van a vivir y de qué van a vivir? Entonces le agradezco hasta ahora que fue la mejor decisión que pudo haber tomado para nosotros, para mí, estar aquí y poder tener tantas oportunidades. Y también, ahorita que veo en Ecuador no hubiera tenido tantas oportunidades como las tengo ahorita, o no hubiera tenido poder subir escalando. Hay un límite donde las oportunidades paran en nuestro país, sobre todo para la música, sobre todo en las empresas sociales. Entonces, eso era una de las razones que ella quería que tenga más oportunidades educativas y para seguir creciendo. In my case, who speaks English only? I just want to make sure like I speak shortly. Okay, great. I'll abbreviate. So I came here because when I was 8 years old, my mother raised me as a single mother in Ecuador, and we wouldn't have that many opportunities for me for my education in Ecuador. The education is limited, especially when it comes to music, so I would have only been able to make it this far, and she wanted me to, the sky is the limit, to really continue to dream big. So those were the push factors that brought us to the United States.
So for my parents, the push factor would have been lack of opportunities. So, and the pull would have been opportunities in the United States. In the 1980s, Guatemala, and before that as well, Guatemala was in the midst of a civil war. And so it was the government was fighting against a guerrilla force, and that was causing that caused an economic downturn, a lack of opportunities as far as jobs. And so my dad decided to leave, go to Los Angeles, okay, because he had family there, and they said that, and they told him that there were jobs there, to Los Angeles, and then eventually made his way over to Connecticut. And it was the same thing for my mother. There was no real employment opportunities in Guatemala, and especially where we were, and so she made the decision to come to the United States. Entonces mis padres, las razones por qué vinieron a los Estados Unidos, en una palabra es oportunidad. No habían oportunidades en Guatemala en los 80s, había una guerra civil durante el tiempo de Efraín Ríos Montt. Y lo que estaba ocurriendo en ese tiempo era una guerra entre el gobierno de Guatemala y una fuerza guerrilla, y eso causó que hubiera como pocas oportunidades de trabajo. Entonces por eso tomaron la decisión, mi papá tomó la decisión de irse de Guatemala, okay, vino mojado, okay, y igual mi mamá vino de Guatemala a Los Ángeles y después a Stanford.
Yo pienso que para mi familia la situación en Cali, Colombia, donde nací, no estaba buena, había mucha violencia, había poca oportunidad de trabajo, como lo han mencionado aquí, y vieron una oportunidad de venir a Estados Unidos, donde ya tenía 2 tías viviendo acá en esta área, para salir adelante. Para mis papás, ellos pensaron en mi hermana y en mí y darnos una oportunidad de poder tener una oportunidad mejor de estudio y un ambiente más seguro para crecer como personas. Entonces pienso que esa fue la razón por la que vinimos a Estados Unidos, por oportunidades y por nuestro futuro. For me, I was born in Colombia, and I was 12 years old, and when my family decided to move over to the US, it was mainly because of the violence and the lack of opportunity, like we just mentioned. Here, my parents also saw a future for my sister and I to go to school and be in a better environment where we can grow as people, and we already had family members here, my 2 aunts, so we decided to come to the US.
So one day, all of you, maybe you'll be on the stage. That would be my hope. You come after you graduate, you have, experience, you come on the stage. If you don't know, what is your family story? Do you know, why did you come here to Stanford? Some of you know the story well, but maybe some of you don't. So why are you here in Stanford? What made you leave where you came from? This would be a time so then later, when you're on the stage, you could tell the story of your experience. Okay? So everyone, if you don't know, you should find out, why? Why Stanford? Why are you here? How did you get here? Questions of the piece?
Yeah, Profesora Forbes está diciendo que piensen en su historia, okay? Piensen en la razón por qué están aquí. Tal vez usted ya sabe la razón por qué está acá, o tal vez no, pero es buena idea de investigar y averiguar por qué está aquí. La esperanza de la señora Forbes y de todos aquí es que ustedes en un punto cuando se gradúen lleguen de regreso aquí a la Westhill y que ustedes estén aquí presentando a los demás estudiantes porque ya estuvieron como exitosos.
Okay, so challenges. Life is full of challenges, no matter if you're an immigrant or not. But what were some of the challenges that were experienced by you or your family as an immigrant?
Yo puedo empezar. La pregunta era cuáles han sido los retos que hemos enfrentado como familia o personalmente. En mi caso, para mi mamá era muy difícil dejar su trabajo. Ella es periodista profesional en Ecuador y acá tuvo que empezar de cero trabajando en una deli y había mucho abuso de los empleadores que no les pagaban bien, que les explotaban, que hacían trabajar muchas horas. Entonces eso es lo que siempre se ha visto y por qué es importante abogar por los derechos de los migrantes. Para mí, como era muy chiquita, no me daba cuenta lo importante que es mantener mi idioma, preservar mi cultura. Entonces trataba de tocar el violín y asimilar en la cultura, o sea, decir, no hablo español, no toco música latinoamericana. Entonces era un conflicto de perder mi identidad. Y eso es lo más importante que trabajamos para preservar eso ahora, y también lo que les inculco a ustedes a mantener su idioma, mantener sus tradiciones, porque eso es lo que nos hace únicos y nos hace súper valiosos. In our case, the challenges were for my mom. She is a professional journalist, so she had to come here and had to just start all over. It's not like she could get a job as a news anchor in NBC. So she had to start working at a deli, and there was a lot of, just abuse from employers, not paying what the, wages would be, exploiting people and having them work long hours. So that's something that we continue to see as the case for many immigrants that come to work here. And in my case, I was erasing my culture, and I didn't want to speak English, I didn't want to play music from my culture. And later on, when I was in high school, when I was in college, I realized that, that is part of who I am, and that is the most important part of who I am. So that's why I encourage everybody to really stick with your identity and preserve who you are as a person, what your essence is, because it will really help you down the line.
Uno de los retos para mis padres era aprender el idioma. Aprender inglés es bien difícil, y yo creo que muchos de ustedes entienden ese reto. Y también pues dejar la familia, es un sacrificio bien grande dejar la familia en otro país, tal vez por muchos años sin verlos, pero definitivamente estar aquí en este país y aprender inglés es difícil. So I'm saying the biggest challenge for my parents were, learning the English language, and also making the sacrifice of leaving, family behind and maybe not seeing them for years. So that's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, language definitely was a big challenge for my parents, learning it. A challenge for me as I was I knew English when I was younger. I had to kind of serve as like a translator for my parents, which, you're like 5 years old and you have to have some important discussions with, at the doctor's office or at school. That was always kind of a challenge for me because, you're kind of thrust into this adult role. But then the other thing is definitely for my parents was leaving family. I think my parents went like 10 years without seeing their parents before they could get back. They got their papers and they were able to go back to Guatemala. Some of their sisters, like 25 years they didn't see their dad, and then he came over. He finally got his visa. He never wanted to come to the United States. My grandparent or my grandfather never wanted to come to the United States because he just didn't want to go flying. Like he was deathly afraid of flying. And so, when he finally came, it was a beautiful moment. Como un desafío de la familia, de mi familia, era el idioma. obviamente no sabían el inglés, entonces para mí yo tuve que como servir como un traductor para mi familia, entonces era algo difícil cuando era pequeño y le tenía que estar traduciendo conversaciones así importantes y difíciles. Y después otro desafío fue no ver la familia para unos 10, mis padres no vieron a sus padres para unos 10 años y mis tíos y tías no vieron a sus padres como para unos 25 años. Entonces eso fue un desafío.
Yo pienso que para mi familia uno de los retos, comparto la misma historia, fue el idioma. El idioma fue muy difícil. De pronto para mí a los 12 años se me hizo muy fácil poder aprender inglés, pero para mis papás no, para mi hermana tampoco porque era un poquito mayor. Pero también lo veo de una forma, de un desafío que tenemos que afrontar todos y tratar de adaptarnos de la mejor forma para poder comunicarnos, ¿no? Aquí en Estados Unidos. Fue un reto muy grande, también el cambio de cultura y el cambio de adaptación al sistema escolar, al ritmo de trabajo. Obviamente mis papás trataron de darme todo el tiempo posible, pero era un ritmo de trabajo diferente, donde teníamos un poco de límites con ellos y nos provocó a mi hermana y a mí a tener un poco más de independencia, de trabajar en nuestros deberes y cosas un poco más independientes con el apoyo de nuestros padres, pero a esa adaptación pienso que fue uno de los retos también grandes. In my case, I think the language was definitely, a big challenge. For me, maybe not so much because I was very young, I was 12, but for my parents, certainly a big challenge. And obviously just adapting to the system, the school system, the rhythm of work, the hours, and everything else that we had to sort of accomplish, my sister and I, on our own, just because of sort of the system and the new way. So culture was also a big challenge for us, but as I said before, I think just adapting and making yourself aware and being able to communicate is crucial.
So they've all been here for a while, years they've been here. So how does the dream or the expectation of why you came here meet the reality? So like, what is the reality? You had a dream, okay, come to United States. We had these hopes. They all shared the hopes of their family for coming here. How has the reality, does it match that?
I'll go. So for my parents, the expectation of opportunities in the United States was met and it was definitely exceeded. I actually, I was talking with my dad recently about this, and my dad is he's the owner of his own landscaping construction company. He owns some real estate and a couple restaurants, and we talk and I'll ask him like, did you ever think that you were going to have this? Because he was, in Guatemala, especially where he was very poor. Like he would tell me, he didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. When he came to the United States, he came with just a shirt on his back, didn't have anything. So the expectations of the United States having opportunities were met, and he, exceeded for him because he was able to, create a business for himself and be successful. So definitely exceeded. La pregunta era si la realidad de los Estados Unidos fue como lo que esperó mis padres, si ellos lograron lo que estaban esperando aquí lograr. Y para mí definitivamente yo creo que para mis padres ellos la realidad del sueño americano ellos pudieron realizarlo porque podían y tienen sus negocios, tienen sus propias empresas y en Guatemala no tenían eso. Yo tuve una conversación con mi papá, le pregunté, ¿usted pensó en un momento de su vida que iba a tener lo que tiene hoy? Y él, siendo muy pobre, me decía siempre, ni tenía 2 fichas para poder ir a comprarme una agua, una soda. Sí, las esperanzas, realizaron las esperanzas y hasta se sobrepasaron las esperanzas de ellos.
Expectativas.
Expectativas, thank you.
Pues yo creo también que las expectativas sí se han realizado porque pues para mis padres, mi hermano y yo hemos podido estudiar, fuimos a la universidad y eso siempre fue un sueño de mi mamá y de mi papá. Y pues también ya yo tengo un trabajo, una carrera, mi hermano también. Hemos podido pues, realizar, como dice Owen, el sueño americano de estudiar, progresar, tener una casa, vivir cómodos y también pues la seguridad de este país también, que es muy importante. Entonces, pues sí creo que hemos llegado a esa expectativa. So I think we have reached the expectation. For my mom and for my father as well, the goal was always to have children who would be able to go to college, get a degree, be successful, have a job, you know, live that American dream and get a house and, you know, all those type of things. So I think we have kind of reached, we are there. We have met some of the expectations.
I think for me too, as I mentioned, the reason why we came was mainly safety and being in an environment where we could feel safe and grow to be good people and get an education. And I think the U.S. has provided that for my family, for my sister and I. My sister went to school, is a nurse practitioner. I went to school. I was able to play professional soccer through going to school. So I think all those opportunities came from being in the U.S. Could I have done that in Colombia? I don't know the answer, but probably not. So I think for me and my family, I think the expectations have definitely been met and more. Pienso que para mí, para nuestra familia, las expectativas de venir a un país nuevo, a buscar un nuevo futuro, a tener un crecimiento como personas en un ambiente sano, un ambiente seguro y con más oportunidades, pienso que lo podemos lograr, especialmente en la parte de la educación. Mi hermana y yo pudimos estudiar y tener una carrera universitaria y a través de eso yo pude vivir mi sueño de jugar fútbol profesionalmente, lo cual no sé si lo hubiera podido haber logrado en Colombia. No lo sé, pero pienso que definitivamente las oportunidades que Estados Unidos nos ha dado han sido muy grandes.
Sí, de igual manera, las expectativas, uno no sabe cuál es el límite hasta que empiezas a lograr cosas y hasta que se empieza a tener éxitos o se empieza a chequear la lista de quiero tener esto, quiero hacer esto, quiero sentirme de esta manera. Entonces creo que aquí me siento realizada, me siento feliz, me siento que puedo ser yo, que vivimos en un país libre, que podemos celebrar mi lenguaje, mi idioma, puedo alzar mi bandera en donde sea. Y creo que el momento más grande que fue para mi mamá y para nosotros darnos cuenta que lo estamos logrando y que todos los sacrificios han valido la pena es cuando me gané una beca completa para ir a la universidad. Y era como que, wow, trabajamos tanto y estudiaste tanto y practicamos tanto y eran tantas horas de trabajo por tantos años. Pero cuando llega esa carta o cuando me voy en la universidad y me gradúo sin tener deudas, sin tener otras responsabilidades, es donde uno se da cuenta que sí, que es lo siguiente. Y eso es en donde estoy ahorita, ¿qué más puedo hacer? Porque todo lo que me propuse lo estoy logrando, entonces puedo seguir avanzando. The expectations for us were that, yeah, let's just try to have a better life, let's have a better education. And for me, the moment that, my family and I felt that all the sacrifices have been worth it was when I got a letter from the University of Connecticut to say, you're accepted with a full scholarship. So being able to go to college and say, wow, I'm here and, I don't have to pay for anything, or being able to graduate debt-free and said, okay, I've been able to check off all the boxes that I've wanted to accomplish, every year, or, I'm checking off some other boxes that I'm working on right now. The sky is the limit, and it really feels that I am able to be myself and be in a country where the land of the free, honestly, that I can really be who I am and celebrate my language, my flag, at any given moment.
Thank you. So you are all examples of what we would call the American dream. People who came here and made a success by being in America. What advice would you give to people who are new to the country, new immigrants? What's the piece of advice that has helped you?
La pregunta es, ¿qué consejo les podemos dar a las personas nuevas que llegan a Estados Unidos o nuevos inmigrantes? Y yo pienso que para mí, o sea, me pongo en los zapatos de ustedes, para mí con 12 años, un niño lleno de sueños de poder jugar fútbol profesionalmente, de poder salir adelante. Yo pienso que ningún sueño es muy grande. Hay que soñar en grande, hay que trabajar mucho, hay que tener mucha disciplina, mucho compromiso y pasión a lo que te gusta y puedes realizarte como persona. Es muy importante también educarte y estudiar porque pienso que es lo que nos llevamos siempre como personas, ¿no? Al fin. For me, I think giving new families and new immigrants the advice of simply just dreaming big and going after your dreams. And it's going to take hard work, it's going to take dedication and passion and a lot of different things, but not to give up and continue to fight for what you want and whatever you want to accomplish, you should be able to do it.
El consejo para una persona que acaba de llegar a este país es pues no rendirse, tener paciencia. Yo sé que llegar aquí a este país es difícil, hay muchos cambios, el idioma, entonces, o sea, ser paciente y también tener compasión, ¿okay? Si usted es una persona que tal vez necesite ayuda, pues ayúdele a esa persona porque tal vez están pasando por un momento difícil. Dejaron a sus padres o a sus hijos o los abuelos o lo que sea, entonces pues tener un poquito de compasión. So I'm just saying that, you know, just be patient coming to this country. It takes a while to learn the language, and also if you see someone who's struggling, who just arrived to this country, just be a little compassionate. You know, maybe they left behind family members, so just give them a helping hand.
Mi consejo es tener una mente positiva y tener una mente, creer en el poder de la mente y el poder de la palabra, como no decir no, yo nunca puedo entrar a ese equipo de fútbol o no voy a poder ir a esa clase, no voy a poder obtener ese trabajo, sino creer en nosotros mismos, decir no, yo sé que tengo las cualidades y las cosas que necesito para lograr esto. Y ponerlo en el mundo, es decir, lo voy a lograr y eso es muy poderoso porque es una actitud que nos ayuda a darnos más fuerzas para también utilizar oportunidades o setbacks o cosas cuando no podemos lograr algo, es como vamos a ir con más fuerza, con más ganas. Ese es mi consejo de no rendirnos. I think my advice would be, you know, for everybody just to have this, believe in the power of the word, believe in the power of the mind to see, like, if you're going to put your mind to something, keep working towards it. Even if there are any setbacks, say, no, I know that I am capable of it. I know that I have all the qualities and the skills to accomplish, you know, joining a team, joining an ensemble, acing that test, or passing that class, or talking to someone. It's possible, and not using setbacks as a way to, okay, it's not possible. It's just keep trying and keep persevering.
If I had to give advice to anybody who, you know, a new immigrant to the country, it would be don't waste the opportunity. You know, you might not want to be here, or maybe you do, but don't waste the chance or the opportunity that you've been given. You can definitely make something of yourself here in the United States, and which is probably the reason why many of you are here. So do everything you can to kind of realize and to you know, make your dreams a reality. So si les podría dar un consejo a todos, es no pierdan esta oportunidad. Okay? No pierdan esta oportunidad de estar aquí en los Estados Unidos. Aquí todos ustedes tienen la oportunidad. No es decir que va a lograrlo, pero tiene el chance de poder lograr sus sueños, y para mí el consejo es no pierdan esa oportunidad.
All right, thank you all for participating. Thank you to our guests. be here, so he's going to contact you, and then you will have to be up on the stage, okay? Mr. Sandoval, remember, when he calls you, you come, okay? Okay, have a good day.
So we're gonna go this way. So Mr. Lamour's class and every class, please go this way. We have the other group.